What's shaking? It's Bacon, and today I want to talk about my predictions for the House of Wolves DLC. And in case you've been living underneath the Traveler all your life, tomorrow we're going to get a look at the Reef. Bungie is going to give us a taste of what we've been waiting for, and it's supposedly a social space. So I wanted to talk about what I think we're going to get out of this social space and what it's going to include. Now, first off, there was a leak of a lot of rumored content that's going to come with the Reef and the House of Wolves DLC itself. So I am considering that in my prediction, but I'm not focusing on it all that much. This is more stuff that comes from me personally and came from me before I even saw the leak. Now, first off, I'm going to guess that we're going to be able to meet the queen in her own throne room. And the purpose that she would serve is kind of like the Vanguard mentors that we have in the tower. But instead of having 3 of her, we're of course just going to have 1 of her. And I'm thinking that the inventory that she could possibly give you would be based on the class you are using at that time. And next, we have to have a bounty tracker. And I'm not talking about the actual bounty tracker like at the tower. I'm thinking more of like an Eris Morn type of character. Because if you remember back in the Queen's Wrath, we had a Queen Soldier who was giving us some interesting little quests that we had to do, and it counted as a bounty, which was pretty cool, and I think that should make a return. I'm not really sure if the Queen's Wrath itself will return, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have some kind of bounty some way or another. Now, a lot of people have been talking about like a Zur-like vendor also being in the Reef, and I just don't see this happening. I don't think that it makes much sense, especially for the actual Zur to be there, because I know he's like some kind of weird being, but he has a host body, and that's one body, one entity. So to see him in multiple places, it just makes no sense. And then a different Zur like who would sell exotics and such, like, do we really need another one? Like, I'm pretty sure Bungie wouldn't want us trying to get the gear that easily, having 2 sources that we could buy from. Because, like, it's not like the House of Wolves is gearing up with a bunch of new exotics. Yes, we're going to get a couple of new ones, but it's not going to be like a whole slew. We're not getting twice what we have currently. We're just building upon it. So I don't think another Zur is quite necessary. Factions or a faction, I think that this is just going to bound to happen. We kind of need more factions, and there were hints about other factions prior to Destiny's launch, so where'd those go? I want to see that. I want to see something like that. Maybe the Reef has its own factions that are underneath the Queen but still serve her, you know? Stuff like that. I want more lore, honestly. Give me more lore. Factions outside of the tower, please. Next, I think we're going to get a class item or an emblem vendor, and I think this is just bound to happen also because the speaker at the tower does his job. He gives us some fresh stuff, but we need some new inventory. We need to look even better. And that old lady who like gives us shaders in the tower, does anyone even go to her anymore? Her stock doesn't really refresh with anything interesting, so what's the point of her? I want someone who's kind of more useful. Now, the items that they would sell wouldn't be like weapon based, it wouldn't be stat based, they'd just be aesthetically pleasing. And I hear that we're getting an exotic ship. We're getting an exotic sparrow. Can we at least get a rare ghost? Like, where are the other ghosts? Why do we have so many slots for ghosts if we're not going to get any new ones? And that being said, if they were to add new ones, do we have the vault space for it? Like, are we just going to throw our ghosts in the vault now? Because they said that they would have a fix for us in the future. People who care more about like their minuscule items and their gear. Where is that going to come? I don't know. Probably later down the road. But if that's going to come, I think we need some more ghost skins. And I want to throw this in there, even though I don't think I really have to. Weapon vendor. It's just common sense. Now, lastly, I don't think that the Queen's brother is going to sell anything. I don't think that he's really gonna play much of a part in the Reef itself. Probably just be there as a figurehead. And I'm thinking like he could possibly be related to the Prison of Elders and how we end up going there and such like that. But I'm more leaning sort towards that he'll be a prevalent part of the story for the DLC, because as you know, in expansion 1 we got some missions. We got to try to take down the parts of Crota, so I'm figuring that he's probably gonna be something along those lines. He's more of a coward in my eyes. He's kind of sneaky, looks like Squidward. I don't know. Now, in compiling these ideas, I kept in mind that this is not the only social space. This is a secondary social space. This is an addition. We don't want to make the tower obsolete. We want to have things that the tower doesn't really have as well, kind of balancing it out. So I said no Zor because you can just go to the tower for that. We don't need to focus on things that we already have. We should be focusing on things that would add to the experience and add more content to the game, because this is an expansion. This is an addition of new content. The construction and reworking of older content can be left to patches. So I think that we need to, as a community, turn our focuses into getting new content when we get expansion packs. And yeah, it's nice to see a fix or a change, but if it can be done in a patch, leave it to a patch. Don't try to sell a fix or a band-aid to us. We need new content. That's the whole reason of an expansion, and that's how it should always be in Destiny. I just want to get that point across. Now, on a less hard-ass note, what are your predictions? I want to see what you guys have to say and what you think is going to end up being in the Reef Social Space. And try to keep these comments within today or before the stream actually goes live, because, you know, this is all just for fun. This is just me voicing my opinions and what I think is going to happen tomorrow, what we might see. And if I see anything that actually lines up with what I say, thumbs up, that's awesome. And if I'm wrong, laugh at me. I don't know. I'll be laughing at myself. I'll probably be too hyped to even acknowledge that you're laughing at me, but it'll still be funny. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I'm probably going to do one of these for the Prison of Elders, not so much for the Trials of Osiris, because I'm just not feeling it in terms of predictions with that one. It's not really an oddball. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I will see you guys in the next one.